Monkey butt facing the butt. We get the party started. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to Houston. We have a problem. Here we are. Some problems may be getting solved right now. Donald Trump is facing 38 federal indictments over his mishandling of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago, obstruction of justice, potentially facing Espionage Act violations as well, considering he was sharing that information with people who are not qualified to be viewing such information. The investigation is looking at possible connections with Saudi Arabia, who Trump got a gigantic contract from the Saudis to host live golf events, and potentially would expand to the PGA if the Saudis are allowed to purchase the PGA, which they've reached an agreement with. So he's kind of screwed. I know people in the chat would be like, blah, 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 we watch CNN. Blah, blah. No, Trump is seriously screwed. They have him on tape admitting that he shouldn't have the documents. They shouldn't be showing the documents to people, and then he can't classify them, and it's illegal for him to be showing people these documents. He basically admitted to the crimes on tape with individuals he was illegally sharing the documents with. So, just outside of the potential of him facing Espionage Act violations with regards to showing the documents to perhaps hostile foreign states, members of foreign governments, etc., he signed into law really harsh penalties for mishandling of classified documents when he was president, and now he's facing the penalties for those, which could be 20 years per charge. So 38 charges over 20 years. He's looking at almost 400 years in prison for the maximum conviction, and up to, I think, $250,000 per charge or per document. So it could be 300 documents at $250,000 each. That's a lot of money. So, oops. Anyway, news will be unfolding on that. He goes to Miami Federal Courthouse on Tuesday to be officially arrested and processed. And I have no idea what it means. Because in New York, he went and got processed. They didn't announce anything about a bail. So I don't know what the deal will be when he gets processed in Miami. Will they put him in cuffs? Will they arrest him and put him in jail and force him to come up with bail? Will bail be allowed? I have no idea. So until then, I've got my special mug for the day. Water tastes sweet today. It's really strange. Okay, so wait, nothing happened. Oh, great. Now the cat wants to come in. Come on, ding dong. Yeah, I'll get the door. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to forget to turn off my intro. Little bastard. Off. Ha! Not today. Not today, you secret little agent. Who paid you? Okay, so gotta switch that one to that. Forgot to change the live chat. Oops. Yesterday at 5 o'clock, while we were doing the show, 5 o'clock Eastern time, Cattail Karaoke, GME tweeted a picture of a horse, stalking horse, perhaps. I guess they've been picked as the stalking horse bidder. The bid is due 5 p.m. Eastern time on Monday now, and I think the bids have been extended to the 16th for all their bidders, and then the auction will be the 21st if necessary. So let's hope that stalking horse bid is nice and big, because my options expire on the 16th, and I would like to be able to use them. So, come on, bigger than 50 cents. Let's go. Woo! Okay. Not that Steve-O. If found guilty, can Trump be barred from holding office? I'm not sure how that works because there's only a few caveats about being president. One, you have to be 35 or older. You have to be a natural born citizen. You have to have continuously lived in the United States for X number of years. If you've been impeached, you can't be president. If you've been charged with treason, you can't be president. But because 2021, we weren't actively declared war, but we were still in a state of war with Afghanistan against Taliban. I'm not sure if any of that could be considered treason unless you shared it with the Taliban at the time. Because treason has like certain connotations. But as far as I know, I don't think it would bar him from holding office. Although he might be in prison and wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So there's debate about whether, as president, if he could pardon himself. I doubt that. I think you can pardon everyone except yourself as president, only from federal crimes. Remember, he's also facing 37 felony indictments and state charges in New York, and possibly facing more state charges in Georgia. So if he's not in federal prison, he'll probably be in state prison if convicted. And I'm not sure how you would get around that. Like, do you make a special west wing of the prison compound so that the criminal president can run everything? I mean, maybe pull Richard Nixon, get elected president, get sworn in behind bars, and immediately resign and abdicate to whoever vice president is under the hopes that they pardon him from his federal charges. But even then, he would still be facing convictions in state court. So I don't know. It's a predicament that I don't think anyone thought out. I think the forefathers were like, we're honorable Americans. None of us would ever do something terrible enough that we wouldn't be able to be elected president for. Oops. Meow meow. You think Trump's in trouble, but you forget he's Q, and he has all the Anons and JFK Jr., who never died, are coming to save us all. Good point. Excellent point. How could I forget? Okay, Mighty Mouse. Hello, Houston. First, triple intro today. No off. Ha! Everything's off. Mighty Mouse was listening to the space called Mark Basile. Sounds like a very good response. So, is it Tuesday? Wednesday is the meeting with. Monday's the 12th. Tuesday the 13th. Okay, Tuesday I think is the meeting with Congress. Or no, that's the hearing. That's the hearing in New York Superior Court or Supreme Court. It's really Superior Court. And there's a few people that posted links to get approval to listen in on their Microsoft meetings or whatever it is they use. Zoom, I don't know. So hopefully we'll get some info out of those guys. Do not record. You're not if you happen to get permission to join that, do not record the meeting. You can face charges for that. So don't record it. You have to get permission from the court to record. And if you don't have permission, do not record it. Do not disseminate it. You will be absolutely effed in the A. So don't do that. Just you can report back what you watched. You can ask. Maybe you might be able to ask the judge if can I record. But it does say do not record. So just don't do that. Okay. Okay. My mouse can't find anything on FINRA Congress meeting. They moved it because of the debt ceiling, and I don't know what day they moved it to. So, Latinum, any news about what Rosa is doing? Is she still involved? As far as I know, she's still involved. I was going to check in with her this weekend. I'll see what she's up to. She did tell me, like, stuff is in the works, but she can't talk about what it is, and I can't talk about what it is. So there's things that she's doing things. So don't worry about that. Mighty Mouse, nothing on Stalking Horse Bitter. No, nothing official, although unofficially, wink, wink. GME, they posted a game with a horse on it for no reason at exactly 5 p.m. Eastern time yesterday. And the bid is due Monday at 5, I think. So, Purdue Brand, it's Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. In 15 minutes, I'm eating dinner with my grandmother, 94, and parents. As usual, it's Clashing the Show. See you at the tail end or on Monday. All right, BW Brand, you have a good day. Jason Blackwell, Houston. I was so distraught. The bridge to the island was washed out. I couldn't get over it. God damn it. You can go for that spot again, Kat? You can go right there, right? So I can't read the chats. Cool. Good job. Good job. You fat little cat. Yes. Okay. Lee Meadows, Houston. Thank you for sharing my tweet. I appreciate it. Yes. Lee is disabled. He's trying to save up for a motorized scooter and was forced to sell his BBBYQ calls because somebody passed away in his family. And it sounds like he's just having a rough one. So Lee, can you remember what your Twitter handle is? Let me see if I can find it here. If the internet do its thing, gotta go messages. Cat, you are in the way of my messages. Of course, where? No, there we go. Okay, that's the one. Click there. Go there. So Lee's having a rough one. So if you can help him out, help the brother out. So by all means, I put the doohickey all right. Put in the chat. There we go. So Lee's having a rough one. He had to sell his BBYQ in order to help pay for funeral expenses of a family member, and he's trying to save up for his mobility scooter. So if you can help him out. By all means. Okay. Where was I? I lost my spot. Video Brand. Rosa will know what she needs to do when the information on if the blue sheets will be released is released. If blue sheets are released, she can continue. If not, probably will go to appeals court. Maybe. We'll see. She does have something prepared. Jason Blackwell, Houston. The judge in New York seems to be favorable towards MMTLP investors. The two choices he gave FINRA are both good for us, no? That's what I'm feeling. That I think he's curious. That's the key. The real key is finding a judge who's curious, who's like, this is interesting. You know what? Let's see where this goes. I think Hinkle in Florida, not a curious dude. I think he just took what they said and was like, easy peasy. I don't deal with this anymore. I think that was kind of his whole game. And that's, I don't know, that doesn't seem to me like somebody you want as a judge. I think you want people who are curious about the law and the ins and outs of individual cases. I think that's who should be judges, not just lazy folks. I think Hinkle's kind of lazy, personally. Lee Meadows, did anyone see in the RC documentary he first got stock in BBY up to 9.8%, but when they did the stock buyback, it put him over 10% and he had to disclose his future calls, and he sold. I think he had to sell as he was not ready for them run yet. Okay. That's what I'd read was that their buyback forced him to be over 10%, which was, the buyback is also what put them into bankruptcy. So, they did. They're $1.4 billion in debt, and they did a $1.4 billion buyback. Do the math on that one, huh? I carry the one. So they really screwed themselves on that one too. All right, A1 Car Stereo HW is fired up already, just like the last 10 times. Jimmy D, no, you don't. I don't. And just Stewart, what kind of canoe is the most dangerous? A volcano. Oh, God damn it. I think part of me dies inside. I think your puns overall, people, have like shortened my lifespan by at least a year. My heart has grown weaker and my blood pressure spikes. I just don't know what to do about that. Phil Clayton, Houston. All this talk of blue sheets from MTLP, what are they exactly? Records, forgive my ignorance. The blue sheets detail who is doing buy and sell orders, who's spoofed and canceled orders, what markets the exchanges were going through, who's selling short, who failed to deliver, things like that. It's kind of the ledger, the secret ledger that's really showing what's going on. Those are the blue sheets. And FINRA has been compelled to show the blue sheets in the past. Most recently that I know of, back in April, they had to show the blue sheets. It took them one day. Judge was like, show those sheets tomorrow. And FINRA was like, all right. But now they're complaining that it's going to take forever to do the blue sheets for MMTLP. But that's not true. They're lying. Phil Clayton, did you ever see the dumb hedges knocking GME back to $1? So I have just shy of 1,000 shares and have enough to 10x this if they're ever that dumb. If they ever manage to get down to $1 a share, I would sell everything I have and every account I have, take whatever tax hit there is, and buy up all the GME I could at $1. That would be amazing. But I don't think they have the ammo to do that. They would generate so many failures to delivers. It would be insane to try and short it down to $1. I don't think they can do it. They've tried. It's bounced off of what, 15, and that was it. And it's just holding steady pretty much at 20 for the last since August of last year. So I don't think they have the tools to get it any lower. Just read my post and realized that the hedgies would never drop to $1 for that very reason. Yep. Chris Collins, happy birthday. Thank you, Chris Collins. Cheshire, Houston. Any news on BBBY and RC? When will Big Dog make a cameo, or is Monkey Butt totally opposed to this? Please give Monkey Butt a treat and Triple Batman 2. Have a great weekend. Do we have any Triple Batman treats, do we? We've got drugs, Triple Batman. Monkey will get a treat. Oh, yeah. Did I say your name? Huh? Yeah. Oh, slap your butt off your butt. We'll get them a treat. Can't do it quite yet. It's too early in the show. Got to make sure everyone's a good creature. The cat doesn't eat treats. He just kind of lays there. Your little fat belly. Look at that. Look at that thing. Goodness gracious. You're just a little blob. You're just a squishy little blob. Will Big Dog make a cameo? I have no idea. I don't think my sister is expecting to be called up anytime soon. So, fingers crossed that I don't have to take on Big Dog for a while. He's a lot of work, a lot of stress. Like the irritability of everyone in the home when Big Dog was around was just like peak, because he's just bark, just constantly losing his mind. And oh man, it's been such a wonderful 8 months without him around. Phil Clayton, serious question. Do you happen to play any board games? If so, which ones? Got Battlestar Galactica, which is amazing with the expansions. Carcassonne, Mansions of the Madness, also my fave. I am not particularly a board game connoisseur. I have board games. I've played board games. But I really just... like once a year, I get invited to my friend's house and we play a bunch of really complicated Settlers Catan style board games. And I spend the entire evening trying to figure out how to play it. And then I basically get one good round in where I understand what's going on. But there's always several rounds where I just really have no clue as to what's going on. I would like the opportunity to play more. I just don't have a schedule necessarily conducive to being able to meet up with folks to do such things. I do a lot of my work in the evenings, and that's when people play board games. So, Mo asked me, and I'll have more time to do that. There's a lot of things I'd like to do that I would actually have more time for in the evenings. I've been asked to coach an under 13 select baseball team, and I explained to them, like, I teach in the evenings, I work in the evenings. I might not be able to do this. I'm like, well, it starts in the fall. If your schedule changes, let us know. And I would love to coach baseball. It's been so long since I coached. I would love the opportunity to coach, but the pay for coaching on a select team, it's like a few $100 a week. Not quite really what's going to put me over the edge and to be able to afford to live a life. Also, with a select team, I don't know if my coaching style necessarily be conducive, because the way I see it is you're 13, 14 years old. You're just starting to play like an adult, starting to throw hard, starting to hit hard, starting to run fast, do those things. And they're all goofy, gangly, pubescent weirdos, and they haven't necessarily grown into their muscles haven't grown into their body size. They're awkward. They grew 6 inches in 3 months, and they just gangly weirdos. And the last time I coached, it was very, I was brought in as emergency coach because someone couldn't do it. It was for a 13 to 15-year-old Babe Ruth team. And all the dads and coaches had already done the draft and stuck me with, the losers and the kids whose parents were awful. So I had a bunch of goofy kids who couldn't play baseball, never played baseball, sucked at baseball, and a couple of kids who were really good, but their parents were so overbearing and awful and wanted to start fights and be terrible that no one wanted them on their teams. And we lost everything. We lost every freaking game. But I made a rule, and the rule was no one plays for more than 7 innings a game, and everyone gets to play at least 3. Because I've been on teams where some poor kid sat on the bench every single day from age 8 through 14 or whatever. All they want to do is play baseball. Yeah, they sucked. But you know what? They also never got any playing time. And you don't learn, you don't blossom if you don't get out there and get to run around and play. And we were going to lose all our games anyway. So I sat everybody down first day of practice. And I was like, look, we're going to suck. You suck, you suck, you suck, you all suck. And your parents are going to demand that you play all 9 innings and be upset when I bench you, but I'm going to bench you. Everyone's going to sit for at least 2 innings a game, and no one is going to play, and everyone's going to play at least 3 innings. And I don't care what position you want to play. You can't throw for shit and you want to pitch, I'll put you on the mound. You get absolutely shellacked. But how are you going to learn, right? So I really just let them play any position they wanted. You're the kid who only got to play 2 innings a year and is always in right field. They always want to play third base. I'll let you take a heater off the face. Whoa, this plane's really low. It's a loud ass plane. One sec. Wait for the airplane to pass by. It's 50 feet over the house. But we got better and better and better. And some of the kids who never got a chance to play, there's this one kid who, he was 14. He'd been a swimmer his entire life and always wanted to play baseball. And his adopted parents were like, all right, fine, we'll sign up for baseball. Never hit a baseball, never threw a baseball, or stuff. He would have been benched from day one. This kid ended up having such a cannon for an arm. He was so yoked in the shoulders from swimming, from being a competitive swimmer. He was swimming championship level crap when he was 13, 14 years old. And I turned him into a pitcher. The kid was throwing 85 miles an hour after never throwing a baseball in his entire life. He had the goofy little girl throw, and we taught him how to throw properly. And after 3 months, that kid had a cannon. And what I basically did with him was let everybody play. You have to play. You want to play shortstop? Play shortstop. You want to play first base? Play first base. You want to be a catcher? I don't give a crap. Be a catcher. And we lost all 20 of our games. We went 0-20 on the season, and then. It's an 8-team league on the island for that age group, and there's a little tournament, and we got seeded against the number 1 team, the Hebners. The Hebners very good baseball players. Their sister, Nicole, I played baseball with. She was a very good baseball player. Ended up coaching the girls' softball team, taking them to the state several times. One state with them, I think. We beat them. We beat them. It was like 15-1. So we knocked the number 1 seed out. The first game we won all season, and then we won our next 3 games and won the championship. It's only 4 games we won all season. Was the tournament when it mattered. But, you know, I'm not sure how parents of select teams would view that coaching style. But if you're 13 and under, you're gonna get to play, man. You're gonna play. I'm not gonna ride your ass and scream and yell. I never responded well to that type of coaching style anyway. I actually transferred colleges because of a screaming and yelling coach. It's like, buddy, I'm an adult. Like, shut your mouth. I'll take my talents elsewhere. I want to have fun while I play this game. I don't want to get screamed and yelled at all day long by a guy who's like working on a massive coronary. I don't know. Some people respond well under those coaching styles. The dude at Lewis and Clark State won like 19 national NAIA championships. Probably the best baseball team in the entire country. Was a complete psychopath running that team. I heard stories about, like, you know, there's 3 catchers and only 1 scholarship. And so he put a bat in the middle of the baseball field and said, whoever brings me back that bat gets the scholarship. And those 3 catchers beat the shit out of each other for like an hour until one of them crawled and brought him the bat. And that guy got the scholarship. Do not like that playing style at all. And there's a lot of dudes who are drafted in the major leagues out of Lewis and Clark State. And a lot of them drafted in the major leagues who played 1 season and were like, nope, I'm going pro. Forget this guy. My coach at Lewis and Clark College had come from Lewis and Clark State, or my hitting coach. And he just described basically physical and emotional abuse. And I just don't think any game is worth that. Like, I'm a very competitive person. I turn into an animal when I'm competing at something. But even then, like, I'm not going to scream and yell at people. Just, especially kids. Like, I had abusive coaches growing up. They were just terrible. And they really, like, scar people and make them hate sports and hate going outside and having fun. And, I don't know. If you have the opportunity to coach youth sports, be gentle, be kind, show them how to do things, let them fail. Like, you know, I remember the first time I gave up a home run. I didn't give up a home run until I was 15. Even Little League, I didn't give up a home run. So, but I get my first home run, I think 15, my freshman year of high school. And I was in shock. I was like, I cannot believe somebody was able to hit a ball that far off of me. And like, my coach, I had a really great coach when I was 15. He was such a sweetheart. Gordon. What was Gordon's last name? Can't remember at this point. But he was like, buddy, that was a hell of a hit. Like, you know, I saw the shock in your face when he gave up that hit. And that thing was like, that 15-year-old hit like a 375-foot home run off you. You got shellacked. You know, what'd you do? Like, what led to it? And I was like, well, the catcher had the ball down and away, and it was up in the middle. He's like, exactly. It's just a mistake. Mistakes happen. You can't be precise all the time because you're throwing a ball and you release it one fraction of a degree off, and it goes in the wrong spot. He's like, it happens. Happens to major leaguers all the time. You know, Nolan Ryan gave up a boatload of home runs. He also struck out a lot of people. You know, it's just one of those things. You got to get used to it. It happens. Sometimes they get the best of you. Chill. And the next year, I was playing, I think junior varsity. Gave up a home run. The coach was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, pitching? Like, what am I supposed to do? I tried my best. I made a mistake. That guy just absolutely just cleaned one over the left field fence. What am I supposed to do about that? Nothing I can do about it. He got the best of me. But he was like so mad, I trusted you to put you out there and play. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Chill out. You know, that guy has 6 home runs on the season, and we're on our 4th game of the entire season, and he shellacked me. It happens. I don't know. Going on a random. Not really going anywhere with that one. But, yeah, be kind to children. is my point. They absorb this crap, and some of them shut down and never play again. Others become the same asshole that you were. So don't be the asshole. Okay. How did I get into that? Oh, I'm talking about time to play video games, and then short talking about baseball. I'm gonna be stuck talking about baseball because Julio. This is like no slow news day today. Let's talk baseball. Okay. Did I tell you I missed a super chat during that? Oh my gosh, Bill Coyne, I missed yours. Making America Great Again, one prison sentence at a time. There you go. Quiet Quest. FINRA written. Oh, God damn it, Cat. Get your butt out of the way. Quit stretching. I'm trying to read Quiet Quests. If FINRA wins against Mark, judges are lazy. Agreed. That's exact. Yes. Yes. And meow meow. How is God damn? Move your head. How is it that Trump can drink a case of Diet Coke every day and not die? That I don't know. I mean, everything points to aspartame being just a complete like neurotoxin. So I don't know. Especially if it's warm. Like you don't ever want to drink a warm Diet Coke. You know, something that's been sitting in your car. It's like really warm. It breaks down to a weird neurotoxin chemical, and just frankly, as far as I've read, ravages people. So I would avoid that. Okay. That's the board game one. Super Steve. What would be an actual catalyst for economic collapse? Seems like the majority is trying to maintain the status quo and will keep that going as long as possible. When does the clock run out? I was reading today about the banks dumping their commercial real estate mortgages. Just trying to get rid of, just selling them at losses right now because it's only going to get worse. And if you remember that scene in Margin Call where they're tasked with just dumping this stuff to anyone they can because things are going to get worse. Basically, they're saying, okay, this mortgage is worth 85% of the face value. And if we wait, we'll get 40% for it. So we need to sell it now to at least get 85% of our money back. And they are dumping. They're dumping huge real estate portfolios right now. Just giant bonds and mortgages on commercial real estate because the defaults are starting to happen. There's a big default in Philadelphia, $400 million. There's been several $1 billion in defaults in Los Angeles. There's been some $1 billion defaults in Miami. There's $1.4 trillion in commercial real estate bonds that come due in the next year. And people do not have the cash for these balloon payments because, as we discussed, 1 in 5 commercial spaces are empty. And another 1 in 5 haven't paid their rent in a year. So that's 40% of all commercial real estate space you're not making any money on, which means you either have to jack the rents and hope they pay them on the remaining 60%, but in all likelihood, they're going to go, I can find it cheaper elsewhere because people are desperate to get renters. So you're not going to be able to raise those prices on people. I think that's going to be a big part of it. And we got a same thing happening with residential loans, especially foreign residential loans, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, that have a lot of balloon payments coming due and resets into higher interest rates. In the United States, our interest rates are so high right now, people can't afford to buy. So the market is thin with buyers, but foreclosures are going to start coming as you know, the limited number of adjustable rate mortgages we still have in the U.S. start to come due. So I think that's the big catalyst right now is commercial real estate, especially. Bill Coyne, send Trump to prison and then let Jimmy run, and I will go back to church. Surely there is a God. Oh, Dave, yes. What do you think of Robert F. Kennedy running as Democrat? I really like the guy. I think Kennedy is a complete scam artist, personally. He is vaccinated himself, and he makes his name basically selling people on anti-vax crap. I think he's a conspiracy theorist, and I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. No, I don't like Kennedy at all. Not even a little bit. I think he's, I don't think he's crazy, but I think he sells crazy. You know what I mean? I think he's trying to pull members of the Democratic Party into QAnon style conspiracies, because that's his bread and butter. But he doesn't practice what he preaches. He's completely for show and for money. And he's happily vaccinated against COVID, although he'll tell you all about the dangers of vaccines. If you'll remember, he and his wife threw a Christmas party where they required everyone who attended to be vaccinated, because that's truly who he is. He's not practicing what he preaches at all. He knows that he's an older, at-risk person who's already had lung issues and he's not gonna. he's definitely vaccinated. Yes, just like Tucker Carlson is, just like Ron DeSantis is, just like everyone else who's selling the anti-vax stuff. They're all vaccinated. They don't care if you die, but they're not gonna die. Yeah. Jordan F. This liberal twat is laughing, dude. Needs to take a deep inhale of the smoke-filled air he's living in up there in Canada, eh? What? I'm not in Canada. And our air is filled with smoke. That's all going east of us right now. Phil Clayton, any news on Evergrande? Christ, seems like years ago now. Oh, they defaulted again. But for some reason, their stock price went up. It went above $1 not too long ago. Oh, no, it's back down again. Yeah, it's flatlined. It's at 0.0004. Yep. No, they're done. They're done. Yeah, they defaulted again on their bonds. Released a note saying, "Oh, we don't have any money." So no, they're screwed. Phil Creighton also, did you see the Reddit posts about the shareholders who went to view the GME register at ComputerShare? Thought of this if so. Thoughts on this if so. I saw some blurb about it, but I really wasn't paying attention, to be honest. I just saw a headline. I was like, whatever. There are people who are saying that their shares aren't safe in ComputerShare, and I think they went to verify that they are. I honestly don't care. I don't think registering your shares is going to make one whit of difference, personally, with the value of the stock. It just hasn't done it. Like, the stock does not have the volatility it did before everyone started DRSing everything. And I think that volatility was either driving some corporations, some of these hedge funds under, or was helping them get profits of some kind. You can do all sorts of shorting, let it run, get your puts and your calls, and make a bunch of money that way. But the volatility has basically disappeared now. We used to have swings of hundreds of dollars in a matter of a trading session, and we get, might have $5 in a week, and then it goes right back down again. That's not really the same level of volatility that we'd come to enjoy for the first year of this whole thing. Your friend is here. Plenty of water in the Eye of Africa. Steve, what are the odds that FINRA has to hand over the blue sheets even though it's such a burden on them? Nobody seems to care about our burden that our money and shares have been tied up for 6 months. I'm very curious to see what happens in New York. We got a good chance. I mean, I think we had a good chance with Rosa's, and then it turns out the judge was just so lazy. It didn't read anything. And he seemed to misinterpret case law specifically. So I'm gonna have cautioned optimism. That's what I'm gonna have here. And if they do force release the blue sheets, nom 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 nom, eat it up. Cal Cooper, hey Houston. How do you feel about canoes? Tell your adoring audience about your water sports of choice, not PP ones. I'm on the Boundary Waters, Minnesota, near Soudan Mine. Come visit. My mom did Outward Bound. That's the word I'm looking for. Outward Bound out in the Boundary Waters. They basically like get her and another girl. They gave them a canoe and like an orange, and we're like, "We'll see you in 2 weeks." And they had to go and fend for themselves, and it's a big deal in 1965 or so. She's probably about 15. They had to navigate with a map and canoe their way through the Boundary Waters to get to a certain location, get picked up, and if they didn't make it, well, I guess they get eaten by the mosquitoes, and that's it. I don't have too much canoeing experience. We do more kayaking out here. Like my camp experience was going up to the San Juan Islands and kayaking through the San Juan Islands each summer when I was 13 and 14. Sailing, we'd do big sailing. My dad is a big sailor. He was briefly Marilyn Monroe and Arthur Miller's private yacht captain. Also, I raced dinghies in college. I did dinghy racing for the UH team. Surfing, a lot of surfing. A little bit of kiteboarding, a little bit of sailboarding. Sailboarding was always really fun, but no, not too much canoeing. I've been in canoes, but at this point in time, I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was my first camp experiences at Island Lake when I was like third grade. I canoed. So I was just like, you have a free hour at the lake and you just canoe around or whatever. But I love getting out in boats. I love kayaking. My oldest brother Locke, he has a world record. In 1992, from April 92 to November 92. Well, we will show. Let's go to the map. Google Earth. Oop, not that part of the map. We're going to go to this map. Okay, so April 1992, he went to New York. And right out at the Statue of Liberty, he started kayaking. And he started kayaking up the Hudson River. And he kayaked up the Hudson River, all the way up the Hudson. It's cold. There's still like ice in the river. It's really cold. And then how far did he go? He had to get to the Erie Canal. Is this Erie Canal here? I think the Erie Canal goes through here. So the Erie Canal all the way across to Lake Ontario. Kayak Lake Ontario, went through Niagara Falls, that whole area, got to Lake Erie, and he went to the Cuyahoga River. Here we go. Cuyahoga River, all the way down. Had to do a little bit of a hike, gets to the Ohio River, kayaked. I can turn off the roads. The roads are driving off the wall. Go away, roads. Bing. Ohio River, all the way down to the Mississippi down to the Missouri, and took the Missouri River all the way across the country to the Yellowstone River, got through the Yellowstone River and got to the Continental Divide, had to hike over the Continental Divide, put it in the Snake River, kayak the Snake River all the way to Columbia and out to the ocean by November 1992. The only person ever to do this. Kayaked the entire continental United States, had a portage very briefly in Ohio, and the portage over the Continental Divide apparently sucked a lot because that one was like several thousand feet of climbing to get up and over. And he had like made this little bicycle wheel thing to put his kayak on. But he kayaked across the entire North American continent, across the United States. So when he got done, his legs were like these withered little things, and his shoulders were like from all that kayaking. But he wrote a book about it. I read the first version of the book, and it was amazing. And then he found God, became a Seventh-day Adventist, and rewrote the entire book from the perspective of what God was trying to show him on his journey. And I'll be honest, wasn't that good after that. But his other recent adventure was he did the Santa Fe Trail from Santa Fe, New Mexico to Los Angeles, and he hiked that with his llamas. And Santa Fe Trail actually goes up through Utah and down into Los Angeles. So he had his llamas, and he walked the Santa Fe Trail with his llamas out to Los Angeles. And there did also newspaper articles on him because he was like this crazy mountain man walking his 2 llamas through downtown Los Angeles to get to the ocean. And he wrote a book about that as well. And that book also included stories about the conquistadors and sort of what they were doing in the U.S. So conquistadors arrive, blam, they land in Mexico, they land in South and Central America, they land in Florida, and then immediately they start looking for gold. They're looking for gold, and they basically like murder their way through the Aztecs going, "Where's the gold?" And the Aztecs are like, "We don't have any gold. Norte, you gotta go north, man." And they didn't believe them. But anyways, they made their way north, and they had two big groups of conquistadors. One were the conquistadors to sort of fake a failed expedition, and the others were the ones to find the gold. And so one group went up through Texas and Arkansas, Mississippi and stuff, and they weren't finding anything. They weren't supposed to find anything. And this is because if you found any gold, what the church didn't get, the Spanish king was going to get, and you'd be left with nothing. So what they did was they basically would steal natives from various tribes, work them like slaves, and they'd work these stakes out in the Rockies. And they worked Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Boulder Mountain, Richfield, Beaver, Richfield, Selena, Fillmore, Honey, Bryce Canyon, Escalante, Boulder Mountain, which I think the Boulder Mountain, there's Boulder. Boulder Mountain, Utah. Yeah, Boulder Mountain. There we go. So Boulder Mountain is this big giant plateau, but there's also just a crazy number of snaking canyons that come off of it. And so the Henry Mountains, Boulder Mountain, Utah, they had these stakes, and they basically worked these slaves until they died. And then they'd pack up all the gold and realize, oh crap, we don't have enough people or pack mules to haul this gold. So they would stash some. They'd stash some, take what they could. And then they'd hike the Santa Fe Trail out to Los Angeles. And in Los Angeles, they would meet Chinese merchants, and they would barter the gold for other products, and they wouldn't have to give that stuff to the church or to the Spaniards. So there was a big trade between China and these illicit conquistadors. We're talking like in 1500. Like this is really, 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 really early in colonial America. Which is why Santa Fe was one of the oldest cities established in the U.S. and they're so far inland. It's because the conquistadors were using it as a home base for their forays into looking for gold throughout the Rockies. But not too long ago, you hike these canyons in Boulder Mountain, you can find artifacts of these conquistador claims. You can find old grist mills where they were grinding with large stones the gold ore into powder so they could pan it and get the gold out. Little kilns. There was a guy maybe 10, 15 years ago who found sack upon sack upon sack of this squirreled away conquistador gold because they didn't have enough donkeys and mules to haul it out, so they had to hide some of it, hopefully come back. But these canyons are confusing as hell. I mean, look at these things. You think, okay, I'm gonna go. Maybe it's this canyon opening right here, and you go up, like, oh crap, not that one. Well, maybe it was this one. Nope, no, maybe they all took the wrong fork. And so, if you never make it back to the spot, you're never gonna find your gold again. So, up these canyons, are potentially there's more Spanish gold squirreled away in sacks out here. I wonder if I can find. Spanish Mountain, Santa Cruz, along the Missouri, Arkansas line. Nope, not that one. Nope, not Columbia. I want Boulder Mountain, Utah. Of course, Henry Mountain, Spanish gold, not Henry Mountains. Shoot, there was a guy who found a whole bunch not too long ago. Where was it? Google's give me just crappy. Anyway, whatever. But there's There's gold in the Mar Hills. Go find it. Treasure be found. Do it. Go hike. Get off your ass. Okay. Did I miss? That's Canoes one. Talked about that. Hoshi Gaming, Houston. Can you explain what's happening in Canada and why my views from my house in DC looks like something out of Silent Hill? Also, I'm high. Please blow my mind. It's not that difficult. A big giant front of lightning storms came through, went zap, 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 and everything's on fire. Because much of Canada is remote, we can go back to maps here. You guys can see for yourselves. Most of the Canadian population lives within 100 miles of the border. So most of the population is in this line along the border, and that's it. Up here, there are no people. Northern Saskatchewan, Northern Manitoba, Northern Alberta, Northern Ontario, Northern Quebec. There really just aren't towns up here. Yeah, a couple, but they're hundreds of miles apart. They're more settlements than real towns. And so if something burns, you just let it burn because it's not threatening any infrastructure. And all you're going to do is put the lives of firefighters at risk. And so you just let it burn until it burns out. It's the way they do it in Siberia. It's the way they do it in much of Alaska. It is a natural cycle to burn. The problem is that these fires are starting months earlier than they usually do. Usually it doesn't start drying out until August, September. And that's when you experience the really big fires. And they're experiencing these really giant fires now months ahead of time. And there's going to be no real relief until the winter starts and rains come back. They might get some rainstorms that come through, but my guess is any storms that come through are going to zap more lightning down and burn more stuff. And so these things just catch on fire and they just let it burn because what else are you going to do? There's more fires than there are people. And if it comes, if it gets close to a settlement, like if the fire happens to burn close to this town right here, whatever Chibougamau is, yeah, they're gonna make sure they cut lines and keep the town from burning. But outside of that, just let it burn. It's just there's nobody up there. There's no one to stop it. There's no one to do anything. So you just let it burn, and it's that way across all the boreal forests in the northern areas. So you just have huge fires happening up in BC, huge fires in Alberta, huge fires in Saskatchewan. They're just burning, and the prevailing winds, the trade winds, blow west to east, and it's just blowing all that stuff out across the eastern seaboard, so that all of the East Coast is absolutely just inundated in smoke right now. Yeah. Money over Marrow, why aren't they doing cloud seeding and start rain? That I don't know. There might be laws against it. I think the United States has laws against cloud seeding. I know they do a lot of cloud seeding in the UAE to cool things off in their summertime to bring rain. But I don't know. I don't know why. That's a good question. Anyone who's a fire expert, by all means, jump in and let us know why they don't do cloud seeding to try and put the fires out. Will Carwell, Biden took $5 million from Ukraine, no charges. No, he didn't. that is complete bullshit. That didn't happen. You guys remember back in April, the House Republicans all like, we got whistleblowers. Nom, 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 nom. We're going to take care of Trump or take care of Biden. He's going down. And then May 10th, turned out they didn't have any whistleblowers, and they very sadly cleared him of all allegations. Went, turns out he didn't do any of those things. And all the people we had that were whistleblowers were actually just making shit up. That's what happened. Biden released 25 years of tax returns. No, Biden didn't take $5 million from Ukraine. That's just complete made up stuff from like Gateway Pundit and other fake websites. But there's plenty of things to criticize Biden on, but making shit up about him isn't going to get anybody anywhere. Brian Atkins, happy birthday, Houston. What's a good way for a beginner to learn options? Do you have any books that you would recommend on the subject? No. I'm a terrible person to learn options from because I play gut feelings at most times. I'm like, oh, well, this feels like it's about time for a run. Boop. And 4 out of 5 times it isn't. Or this is going to go down big. Boop. And then it rockets for some reason. That 5th time is when I make all my profit. And that's how I do it. There's more people who look at it more smartly. They plan ahead. They look at they do all sorts of technical analysis. I know Gherkin has really good videos on explaining all the Greeks with options, but for me, start small. Start with really cheap stocks that aren't very volatile and just kind of play around a little bit until you learn it. I'm not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You can get options calculators, like little fake ones, and pretend to play with fake money to learn them. The way I see it is if you're gonna have a good gamma play, like Carvana was way down. Let's look at Carvana here for a sec. Oh, Drunk Google Earth. Come on, turn off. There we go. Carvana. Type, you dingle dangle. Carvana stock. Okay. Carvana finished up a little bit. After hours, though, they got 25 something. Early this morning, they're almost $28, but then the shorts hammered them down. Ring. They still finish above Max Payne. Max Payne was $13, so still quite a few options went in the money, but not really enough to like truly trigger a gamma squeeze for Monday. But had it finished at that $28, $25 and above, they would have triggered just a boatload of options. And the options writers would have to go into the market because they sold most of these options naked, thinking, why would Carvana ever go to $28, right? So they would have to go into the market and buy just an absolute boatload of shares to cover all the exercise options that would have gone in the money had it closed that high. So it would have been a gamma squeeze. So if Carvana had finished really high today, my plan was I was going to buy some call options, some weekly options for next week, thinking Monday was going to be a big buying day because they've got T+2. They have to go out and they have to buy a bunch of shares to make good on these options. So you're going to get another run perhaps Monday and Tuesday, which would cause the price to go up maybe another $10 before they'd have a chance to start shorting it back down again before the options expire the next Friday. But the shorts hammered it down. I didn't end up making my options play to go for gamma on this one. There might be a pinch of gamma on Monday, but my guess is that it's not so out of control that it's going to go, that's going to fly like it would have had it closed above $28. I played that, the last time I played that really big was when GameStop had its run to $40 last August. I played the options. I got weeklies. The stock price flew like $10 from $30 to $40. And I just had the feeling, I was like, well, I think they're going to start shorting it now. So I bought puts and I wrote it back down. And then I took all that money and I threw it at Bed Bath & Beyond. Was it $9 calls in Bed Bath & Beyond? And it flew to $30. And I was like, oh, buddy. And then I was going to sell the next day. But then that night, Ryan Cohen announced, I sold everything. And the stock crashed from $30 down to like $5 before I opened the next day. And my options went from $108,000 down to pennies. So you can win some and you can lose some. And I just was like riding that wave and just lost it all. It happens. For me, playing options is purely entertainment expenses. And if you win big, fantastic. But expect to lose a lot on options. It's just the way it is. And I treat it that way. Andrew Vanderholm, yeah, Pickle Financial has that. Yeah, Girk has it. Snartler likes the water mug. Thank you. B-Ball 3710. Biden bribe news drops and instantly we get Trump and alien stories. Nothing to see here, folks. The Biden bribe news was made up. There's literally, the House Republicans literally had nothing on that. And one of their whistleblowers turned out he just committed perjury in front of the select committee when he testified. And it turns out he had been fired from the FBI for taking secret information on investigations and passing them off to Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, who people keep trying to draw into MMTLP. And O'Keefe is probably going to face criminal charges himself for disseminating and obstructing justice. So, just don't do that. Let the grifters do their grifty thing, and don't bring them into our movements and taint us with their griftiness. Bakon Group, MMTLP news is all that matters today. Get that info. Well, I mean, there's not much news yet. Aaron Salentine, forgive me, Houston, Carvana had a car wreck, and them short sellers started shorting again. They did. They shorted hard. It spiked all right at the open this morning, but beyond that, click clang, Donald Duck. Okay. Aaron Salentine, Houston. So what is going on with BBYQ? We getting $3 to $6 a share at the bidding war? I hope so. I hope so too. I'm not going to expect it. Like I said, everything I have in BBYQ is a complete lotto ticket. The odds are a little bit better than actual lotto ticket, but I'm going to assume that everything I put in it is gone. So that's just what I will assume is that every time I put at it is a lost cause. If it miraculously goes better than that, then woohoo! Yay! But I really hope there's a bidding war, because the woohoo yay will be fantastic. Maybe afford the diet food this cat needs. Huh? Yeah, because your Friskies is like $13 a bag. The diet food the vet wants you to have is like $90 a bag. And quite frankly, that costs as much as you did. So you can be my fatty booble laddie until then. Wheat Wild. It's got coordinates. What we got here? We got first coordinates in a while. We don't get many coordinates these days because for some reason Google doesn't allow coordinates anymore. So better not take me. Better not. God damn it. 7CHC3, 7CHC3, 7CHC3. Well, there it is. There's the Eye of Africa. There's your crypto volcanic structure of the day. Yet again. Go to bed, Omer. It's too late for you. Oh, you guys can't see anything because I didn't have it on. Yeah, he took me there. There. That's as far away from the Eye of Africa as I want to be. Peachy Sunday, happy birthday, Houston. Apparently, we are in a bull market. There's an argument that we have bottomed out. It's not seen numerically because the currency is debased, invisible choke, very sinister. I do not think we bottomed out. I think there's a lot more bottom to that bottom. Remember again, the S&P 500 is incredibly. S&P 500 is supposed to be an index of 500 stocks, but 27.7% of the S&P 500 is 5 tech stocks. So it's not really an accurate measure of these 500 stocks across the market. It's really a measure of those 5 tech stocks and then also RANs at different weighted averages that really don't matter that much. They're not going to swing the price far one way or the other. So as long as the tech stocks are doing well, the S&P 500 is like, everything's fine because they gerrymandered it to be that way. So it's not a good indicator right now of how the market health is doing. So yeah, we're sitting in kind of a weird facade market right now. It's like they built a fake town for us to go ooh and ah at, and it's like North Korean supermarkets is what it is. Scott Pullen, 12-foot 4x4s are so effing heavy. Heart goes out to builders worldwide. They are very heavy. They're extremely heavy. Are you carrying some right now? What are you building that you need 12-foot 4x4s? Michael Harrow read that Marjorie Taylor Greene took notes in a confidential meeting she was in. She was supposed to read only. Can they get in on that? Yeah, she admitted it on TV. She was like, I was in the SIF and they presented me this information. And the first thing I did when I got out is I wrote down everything they told me. She submitted to a federal crime. So on live television, these people are so dumb. They just, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. That's not how, you're not supposed to make a written record of your eyes only type material. Olga Natsowski, Natsowski, I hope I said that right. Never had to sell a security when someone in my family passed away. Yeah, well, because sometimes funeral expenses are very expensive and it's not covered by the government. They don't have their own life insurance. It's just, it can be brutal. JL 2023, hey Houston, I would like to buy a show branded t-shirt that says the water tastes sweet today. Oh, let me put that one down on the, where's my pen? There's my pen. The water tastes sweet today t-shirt. Okay. Noted. There's the reset. And I lost my spot. Okay. There it is. All right. Wheat Wild. Did you see the clip of the Russian guy who was eaten by tiger shark in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt? Nothing graphic, but still horrifying as hell. Yeah. He gets attacked. He panics. He fights it off for a second, and he starts trying to swim away. And the shark just took him down after that. It's a pretty horrifying video to watch. When I did my lifeguard training, granted this is 24 years ago when I did motion lifeguard training, they talk about shark attacks and the chance of shark attacks if you face one, if you're out in the water with one. And yeah, they do teach you like punch in the nose. Problem is like when they get that first bite, blood's in the water, so now it's frenzy time. Oftentimes they bite and let go because they realize like, oh, there's a lot of bone here. This is not what I'm looking for. But tiger sharks kind of just swallow anything that comes along. I mean, you'll find like license plates and crap in their bellies because they just eat everything. In California, it's great whites you have to watch out for. Great whites generally bite and let go because they realize, oh, this is what I wanted. I thought you were a seal. But their mouths are so huge, they just cut all sorts of veins and you bleed out in the salt water. Tiger sharks, on the other hand, are brutal and they are very fast. You pretty much have to, I know you're going to be panicking. I know you're going to be in shock. You're going to be like, oh, I need to get out of here. But you also need to like get in the water and get eye level with them and be fucking ready to stick and move. Because if you're above water, you aren't seeing what they're doing. So you have to do what you can to remain in the water and see where they are and fight for your life and try to dodge their bites. If you can, you get fingers inside those gills and you punch them in the nose and you make it so they just are like, fuck, this is awful. Because imagine someone sticking their fingers like in your lungs and grabbing on. You're not going to like that feeling very much. And the shark skin can like cut your fingers up if you're rubbing the wrong ways, but just expect like you're gonna fight for your life. And those tiger sharks are just brutal. Basically, they're just lizard brains that just want to bite things, and they'll chomp anything near them. So yeah, that was a horrifying video of that dude getting eaten. Yeah, you can see him get whipped around a couple of times. And then that one last, like, he's not coming back from that one. A roommate in college lifeguarded in Santa Rosa, or near Santa Rosa, out on the coast there. And a girl he worked with, I was at his house, his family house in Carmel. I was on a road trip, and it was during Shark Week. And so, like, we were sat down and watched some Shark Week. And then one of the girls that he had lifeguarded with in Santa Rosa, she was being interviewed because she had gotten chomped by a shark. He's like, what? No way, I worked with that girl. And she's a survivor, so there you go. But man, I don't know. You can watch that video, but man, I'd regret watching it now, actually. It just, there's nothing graphic, but you know what's happening under that water that you can't see is horrifying. And dude's never coming back from that. ABC BBYQ stalking horse filing by 5 p.m. Sunday. Oh, Sunday, not Monday. Okay. All right. Sunday, which means Monday might be some interesting trading going on Monday morning. Okay. Dr. Spurgeon, the sturgeon surgeon. I wonder if he'll be allowed to build his own prison and live in it like that crazy Colombian drug lord. I'm drawing a blank. Oh my God, what's his name? I'm officially old. Pablo Escobar? What are we talking about? I doubt it. I mean, if you are, well, my guess is federal supermax Colorado. if you are a former president who's incited violent overthrows of the government, they're just going to lock you away and you're going to have no access to talk to anybody. Yeah. So 4x4ing heavy. Oh, what 3 words? Okay, all entities got a spot. Flashing widened nougat. I have to go find that website again. Chrome. Nope. Chrome. Then you off. What was it? What 3 words? There we go. Bam. Bam. Flashing white nougat. You got any graphics for me, friend? We're in a desert. We're in a desert. God damn it, God damn it. Because every friggin' meter has a different 3 words. You guys can get me like 9,000 times with this one. Tippy Canoe. Rocky, did you see the list of shareholders per broker that sent out postcards to AMC shareholders? Apex Clearing only sent 43 postcards. Robinhood sent out 1.56 million. Isn't Apex Webull? Well, Robinhood uses Apex as well. Webull uses Apex. I think Alliance uses Apex, or Alliant, whatever they're called, use Apex. A lot of the payment for order flow guys use Apex. Schwab use Apex. I think the default on Fidelity's use Apex unless you tell them to use someone else. So I don't know, like other people that have particular broker use Apex as a broker for some reason, or just a market they go through. So I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. Garnet Ogre, why don't we all buy BBYQ and make it private and sell the shares for 1,000 and make the shorts pay for it all? Problem with taking it private is you still owe the 1.4 billion. So that's the problem. So in bankruptcy, you got to pay that 1.4 billion. So we need 1.4 billion to pay off that, and then restructuring has restructured. So that's what we need. We need 1.4 billion to pay off the debt. Expose Sarnex. Nothing will happen to Trump. Only get him more votes. They have dead to rights as far as I can tell in those indictments. They have him basically admitting on tape. It's like, look at this crime I'm committing. Man, if I were president, this wouldn't be a crime, would it? That is damning. My guess is that the grand jury was like, yeah, indict. I don't know when the trial would be. I think this coming fall is the trial for his New York charges. Perhaps next January, right when the primary is supposed to be heating up, would be when Trump would be facing trial on the federal charges. yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to get out of this. It is. It's gonna truly be hard for him to get out of this. BFH, I'm about 17 minutes behind the show, watching on 1.5 speed. You need another mug that says MAGA tears for when Trump gets convicted. I'd be more concerned about his Big Mac consumption. He's the Diet Coke Dracula. BFH, Houston, whatever happened to SS Minnow Johnson? Did you finally ban that prick? Did he finally leave after you dunked him enough times? I finally banned him. He was just getting out of control in the chat, and the mods kept having to like delete his chats. He made 4 or 5 accounts. He might be in here right now. I don't know, under a different name. But yeah, I finally had to ban him. Aaron Salentine, Houston, hi. So would it be more prudent to buy med material instead at 20 cents a share than when MMTLP is fixed at short squeeze to $50? Finally use that money to buy GME and ready for MOAS. I mean, med material has to do something by September. Oh, I can't talk about med material. Ignore me. I can't answer that. But it preserves old and evil people. It does. Andrew Vanderhelm, Houston, in the classroom, do you prefer Mr. Wade or El Captain Houston? I like being called Professor Wade, I'll be honest. When people are like, Professor Wade, I'm like, oh, that's me. But people usually just call me Houston. I usually go by my first name. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I'm not too into that stuff. Okay. Theorem's AMC, who got in on those CNVA puts today? Hopefully someone did. Make good $10 off of that. Not too shabby. Like $1,000 off of that, technically. BT, guarantee you nothing will come of those indictments, just like nothing came of the numerous and constant investigations of ways of Trump through the entirety of his term. So injustice is a disgrace. That is taking that's bitter water, not some sweet water. I'm drinking my sweet water today. So I'm just gonna have sweet water. No bitter water for me. Smash 2J20. Oh, stop it about Trump. Why don't you ever talk about the corruption going on in Democrats? We were never close to World War III with Trump in office. Nothing will happen to Trump. Just more look this way. Are you forgetting about when we almost went to war with Iran, or when we almost went to war with North Korea during Trump? And North Korea was threatening nuclear bombs, and we had the nuclear warnings go out in Hawaii that the Korean missile is about to hit. We were pretty close a couple of times with Trump. I mean, shit. We blew up a whole battalion of Russians in Syria while Trump was in office. We came close quite a few times, my man. Just like the memory is not going to work here. But yeah, the corruption of Democrats, I guarantee you there's corrupt Democrats out there. There is. The difference is that when a Democrat is found to be corrupt, the other Democrats kick them out of the party and remove them from positions of power. They just kick them out of office if they can. When a Republican is found to be corrupt, very rarely do they do anything about it. I mean, Matt Gaetz gets busted trafficking underage girls, underage prostitutes across state lines. 3 years later, he's still on all his committees, right? George Santos is discovered to be basically a grifter and a con man who's committing felonies and robberies and cons, all sorts of stuff. Have they removed him from anything? No. Matter of fact, not a single Republican removed him to kick him out of office after being faced with overwhelming evidence that he's a straight up criminal. Denny Hastert rapes a bunch of boys when he's a wrestling coach. Do any Republicans go, oh, how dare you, Denny Hastert? No, not a single one of them, right? So there's a huge difference in how it's approached. I mean, Al Franken takes a goofy picture while on a USO tour where he's like pretending to honk the boobs one of his people he's working with on an airplane. He's not actually honking her boobs. He's like, honk this, so she's asleep, honk. And he's making a goofy, stupid joke. The Democrats kicked him out of office. They removed him from the Senate for a goofy joke. Meanwhile, Donald Trump gets found liable for raping E. Jane Carroll. And he can't keep his mouth shut about it. They find 300 documents, including nuclear secrets, secrets about U.S. vulnerabilities and attack plans for other nations, security vulnerabilities of other nations, nuclear programs of other nations. And he's stolen that stuff from the White House. The archive's like, hey, we need that stuff back. Trump's like, oh, what are you talking about? And then they find the documents. Not only that, but he tried to move the documents to other rooms so that when they looked for it, they couldn't find it. So they found them in the bathrooms and the ballrooms and bedrooms, all sorts of things. It looks very, very likely that he sold those secrets to a foreign nation in order to get a golf tour. Right? Jared Kushner helped him sell those secrets in order to get $2 billion invested into his hedge fund. This is the type of stuff we're dealing with. It's not other levels of corruption where like, this guy may have helped his friend get a job. No, this is straight up national security putting the lives of every American in danger for a golf tour. It's a big, giant, huge. It is quite possibly the largest and most dangerous security breach the United States has ever had. And this is following, the week after what's-his-butt died. What was that dude from the FBI that died? What was his name? FBI agent. Robert Hansen. There we go. Robert Hansen, who was probably the largest security breach prior to this. Even bigger than Snowden. And Snowden gave 10 hard drives of information to the Chinese and the Russians. And who knows what was on that stuff. We still don't even know what he took to this day. It's a big, 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 big deal. Big deal. I mean, it's not only that, but like when he got elected to office, people were like, we shouldn't elect this man to office because all he cares about is money. And he's going to use the office and do all sorts of illegal shit to get more money. And it turns out that's exactly what he did, right? Almost all the business he did in his Washington, D.C. hotel was selling overly priced rooms to foreign governments. Oh, does Qatar want some good favor with the U.S. government, with Donald Trump? We'll just make sure we book $100,000 a night in hotel rooms at his hotel. Stuff like that. The corruption runs so much bigger and so much deeper with this man than any politician we probably have ever had in the United States. It's a big, 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 big issue. And the DOJ is going to come down hard on Trump for this. He sold secrets. You don't do that. You don't do that if you are in the military. You don't do that if you're in the FBI. You don't do that if you're in the NSA. You don't do that if you're in Congress. You sell secrets. Depending on who you sold to, they might hang you. So it's a big, big deal. Bex is pronounced Shibugamu. Okay. Scott Paul on fire particulate is natural cloud seeding. Well, it is a nuclear station site for droplets. That is correct. Michael Ahero, Canada has lots of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes hate smoke. I think it would be nicer to visit because we could be bitten less. Where my family land is up in northern Ontario, up in Timmins, there's basically like 2 weeks a year. The last 2 weeks of August is the only time to go visit that place. Otherwise, it's winter or bugs. The black flies are everywhere, the mosquitoes are everywhere, and it's actually pretty decent that time of August. Any word today on the meeting with Congress and FINRA? I've heard nothing. Nothing so far. Smash 2J20. Dog Mom. Oh, crap. I lost Dog Mom. Where'd she go? Dog Mom. Wait, there's Ogre. S-Pulse X. Aaron Salentine. Crap. I lost you, Dog Mom. Ogre. S-Pulse BFH. BFH. Aaron Salatine, and your I cannot find. Oh, there she is. Okay. Dogmon, really appreciate your show, Houston. You always teach me something new, make me laugh, help me hang in there for the MOS. Thank you. Michael Harrow, buy Hill's Secret Diet cat food. You can be a fit cat with that stuff. Okay, Hill's Science Diet cat food. Put that on the list with the cat pen. Hill's Science Diet cat food. Kitty? Apparently the cat's bowl is like 350 calories per bowl. And right now the vet says she wants them down to 200 calories per bowl. Because you're a fat little fatty and your fat little butt blocks out my entire screen. That's right. That's right. But you know what? Your nipples are hilarious, so it makes up for that. Those big fatty nipples. Yes. Geminius, you know, Melania's having a field day coming into all that money early. She's like, man, she's got a little spring in her step today. Michael Harrow, the shark attack man, was Russian. Did he have a better chance fighting in Ukraine? About equal odds, I think, probably. Man versus shark, man versus Ukrainian front. It's pretty. Well, not one's gonna be the other. Talon 4's back. SoFi uses Apex. A lot of people use Apex because that's if you're doing payment for order flow, using Apex. What was that moan over there? That was the chair squeaking, but it was just you. Peachy Sunday. It'll be so funny when Trump runs out of money to hire lawyers for the rest of his lawsuits. Thing is, he doesn't ever pay his lawyers. They have to end up quitting anyway. He lost his 2 lawyers today, and he's got 2 new ones. So, I mean, at this point, is there going to be anyone left that he can hire? Yeah. Michael Harrow, didn't Trump increase the punishment for mishandling classified top secret docs? Screwing himself? Yes. Bat Bones, I was a surfer. We had a saying, it is better to know where the shark is than where it isn't. That's as good as it is. I think I told you guys about my shark encounters. I mean, other than like little white tips, but whatever. Those might take a baseball-sized chunk out of you, but generally they kind of stay away. My first encounter was surfing at Honolulu. Gotta go there. Go turn Google Earth back on. Go to the Big Island. So there's lots of tiger sharks and bull sharks all around Hawaii. And the tiger sharks are generally more plentiful. But north of Hilo, there's a little surf break at Honolulu, right here. And the river water comes out, and there's a little reef here. You can see all the surfers. You see all the surfers right here on satellite. And there's an excellent break that happens here, and but it's really, really murky because of all this river water coming out, and it gets really brackish where the river meets the ocean. So you really can't see into the water at all. And, you know, tiger sharks do love that murky water because it's really nutrient rich. So there's lots of fish and turtles and stuff. And I'd see turtles out there, and I was paddling out to surf once, and my hand hit something that didn't feel like a turtle, but felt really big. And it just had a feeling like how people have described touching sharks. I think I paddled and slapped a shark on the ass while I was paddling out to surf. And that gave me such an uneasy feeling that I just went in. I was like, I don't feel comfortable. I know that they're probably all around me all the time when I'm out there. But it just put the heebie-jeebies in me, and I was like, I'm done for the day. I'm going to go back home. So I went back home. The other time, and I've probably told this story before, but why not tell shark stories today? My favorite place in the entire world, South Point. I absolutely love this spot. It is the end of the world. It is fantastic. There is just amazing cliffs to jump off of into the water here. So much fun. The water's super clear. The cliffs drop down, go down another 60 feet, and it's just crystal clear. You can see all the way to the bottom. You can see 100 feet away. It's amazing. And my friends had driven out here. We spent the afternoon just jumping off the cliffs and swimming around and playing in the caves and just having a great time. and it got to be like 4 o'clock in the evening, and it's tropics, so the sun sets at 6, so it's the sun's already getting low, and we're like, well, let's pack it up, let's go get some dinner and drive home. And as we're like packing up, this huge potted dolphin, we're talking like 1,000 dolphins, just started just motoring by, and I was like, fuck this, put my goggles on, jump back in the water, and I'm like in the middle of all these dolphins, and they're like, woo, and I'm like, woo, and they swim off. And I was like, you guys are idiots, why don't you go swim with all the dolphins? It was awesome. And I looked down, and there's this like do not disturb sign from a hotel. It's just down at the bottom, like 60 feet down. And I was like, you know what? That's a piece of trash. I'm gonna go get that piece of trash. So I dive down, and I can't quite get it. I'll back up. And I dive down again. I can't quite get it. Like maybe my third try, I'm running out of breath. I finally free dive down almost 60 feet, grab this thing, and I thought it was like a piece of plastic, and it wasn't. It was paper, and it just into like a trillion little fibers all over the place. And these huge schools of fish all of a sudden showed up, started eating all these fibers. Nom, 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 nom. It's like a fish tank. And I come up, I'm like, you guys get in this water. This is pretty cool. Like, there's fish everywhere, just eating all these little pieces of paper. And no one's paying attention to me, like, whatever. And I'm go down and watch the fish some more. And they're eating all these little fibers. And I pop my head up. And my friend Justin, he's the one that was the lifeguard in Santa Rosa. He's like, shark. And I'm like, yeah, right. And I put my head down, and all the fish are like all of a sudden up against the cliff, just sitting there, like not moving. That's weird. And I look back up, and the big giant fat Hawaiian guys. So you'll see a tent right here and a truck right there. These dudes, they do garbage bag long line fishing. So the prevailing winds are blowing out towards the west. They're blowing this way. And you take your long lines, you attach garbage bags to them, and the wind blows the lines like miles out into the ocean, and you can drop your hook way out in deep water, where the water is like thousands of feet deep. You can catch jackfish and tuna and swordfish, all sorts of crazy stuff. And these dudes ignore us stupid kids playing in the water all the time. They hate us, actually. They just like sit there and they fish all day, and they just really hate us being around, bothering them. But these guys, after never paying attention to us in a single life, I pop my head up out of the water, and I see like 3 of them just pointing. And I look, and I can see a disturbance in the water, and I go, oh, shark! And I don't remember swimming to the ladder, but all of a sudden I was on top of the ladder. And there's a big, rickety, weird ladder. You can kind of see these little platforms here. One of the platforms has a water that goes 35 feet down into the water. And I feel like I may have run across the water. I don't remember swimming. I just remember like covering the 30 or 40 foot distance, and all of a sudden just being on the ladder. And I looked behind me, and I could see this upwelling that was now kind of where I had been. And apparently, while I was in the water, the fin came up and was going towards me, and everyone told me shark. And that distance from where the fin was to me was the same distance as I had been to that placard I got off the bottom of the water. So that was me being hunted by a tiger shark. But I still love that place. I go there every time I go to Hawaii. I spend at least a day playing around there. It's great. There's this is a blowhole here. It's this dark spot, and it goes down into a cave, and you can jump into the water, into the cave when the water comes swooping in. And when the waves are really big, like get a hurricane to the south, that blowhole will shoot water like 150 feet in the air. It's pretty awesome. But you only go here when the waves are like a foot. But yeah, there's a whole cave that goes all the way back, and there's a little blowhole, and you can climb up another cave and come out of this little hole here as well. But I love this spot. Great place for sunsets. I always get a nice steady breeze. It's good. And sharks. Sharks will be there. So yeah, just watch out for the sharks. Tell before. Got him again. Duh. Peach Sunday. Oh, no, that one. Red-Eyed Jedi says Trump will get a pardon sooner or later. Perhaps. I mean, the next president is very likely to pardon him if it's a Republican, that's for sure. Whisper. So much false equivalences and both sidism with these bad faith arguments from Trumpers. Try harder. Yeah, the both sidisms, just like, you know, you have people fighting for equal rights, and you have people fighting to like make sure that minorities are dead and have no rights. People are like, huh, both sides, am I right? Like, no. One side is fighting for people to have rights and dignity, and the other side is fighting to murder those people. Right? It's not both sides are equally bad here. One side is morally right, and the other side is abysmal and terrible. Both sides ism. Yeah, there are plenty of things to criticize. Like, I think the way Biden went about the debt ceiling was stupid. It's absolutely dumb. He should have told the House Republicans, like, I don't care if you vote yes or no. I'm just going to make sure the 14th Amendment stays true and we pay our debts. So you guys can do whatever you want. We're going to pay our debts either way. That's the way I would have approached it. But he decided to go and like negotiate with them. And he negotiated things like speeding up the end of the forbearance for student loans. Personally, I say just get rid of student loans. Just end them entirely. So much of our nation's problems come from the lack of discretionary income of young people because they're being spent on things like student loans. People aren't buying homes. They're not starting families. They're not doing a lot of things. Like it's arresting the development of a huge part of our country because we financially burden people way too young with things that shouldn't be financially burdensome. Just treat college like high school. You just show up, learn a skill, move on with your life. Why do you have to charge them $100,000 a year? It's ridiculous. Aaron Saltine. Here's a commercial. By today, 10 seasons totaling 200 episodes of Houston Wade's postcast talking about MOAS, politics, and more action-packed questions and nerds overnight, all for low price. 1999. Buy now. By all means, buy now. Turn your handle green. Click on the subscribe button or the subscription button. And you can subscribe to the channel. You can become a membership button. That's what we're talking about. I always forget to advertise those things. Turn your handle green by all means. And listen to me yell at you guys. Call me Dragon. You talk about Gary Gensler yet? I haven't seen anything all day. What's the update? So it was mentioned yesterday that Gary Gensler was being charged with market manipulation, and it was a crypto website. He's not been charged with anything. They're alleging it, and it's only one website saying it without any proof. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I have no doubt people in the SEC definitely, I mean, it's not too hard to play the market illegally. You just create an entity in, I don't know, the Bahamas or something, right? Bahamas don't report to any of our government. You just, take a pile of cash over there, open up a trading account, and whatever you do at the SEC, like, oh, we're about to file a whole bunch of stuff against the SEC. I'm going to have my Bahamian account or my Canary Island account or whatever. I'm going to buy a shitload of puts on Coinbase. This is going to be awesome. And then you have this foreign company that you've set up, buy a bunch of puts, not attached to your name. No one knows it's you. I have no doubt that type of stuff goes on. So is it possible? Yes. Do they have any evidence? Not that I've seen. Even when they had a link to Gary Gensler is manipulating the market, there was nothing there. It just went and reloaded their homepage, and then there was no article on their homepage. So I think it's a clickbait thing to get people to go to their little crypto website. But Binance, you can't get your money out of Binance right now. They will not do any conversion to US dollars. So you have to take your wallet and send it to another crypto platform to get any cash out. So, and even then, assets are starting to be frozen in Binance. Binance was doing exactly the same stuff the FTX was doing. They were passing all the cash through their own little hedge fund. They were using people's money to illegally stake and basically Ponzi scheming the gains of that stake to members of the staking, like taking in the new investors and then passing those crypto gains on to previous members. Folks at Binance are probably facing criminal charges just like FTX. They're doing exactly the same thing. Anytime you see like, oh, you can get 50% returns if you just stake with us, they're doing something Ponzi scheming. MT Houston. Trip should be sent to Fort Leavenworth. Trump should be sent to Fort Leavenworth. The rest of the government scum. And very likely Leavenworth. But Leavenworth isn't Leavenworth for. Isn't that the military one? Where guys who got convicted in military courts go. Can't remember. I remember that movie that had Robert Redford in it, where he's like the general who's convicted, and they like have their own little war in the yard of the general's last stand or something. That was Leavenworth, wasn't it? Monkey. I don't know. Call me Dragon. I was paddling out to go surfing. Just one more wave, and I'm beyond the break. I go dive under, and it literally a dolphin was surfing down the nose enough that I could reach out and touch it. Surfing with dolphins is fun. I never surfed with dolphins in Hawaii, but when my sister was stationed in South Carolina, we went out surfing, and it was It was one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. She had this Newfoundland mix named Max who loved body surfing. He was such a cool dog. He was huge. He was like 140 pounds, just a big, giant, happy, ball-crazed dog. But he loved water. He loved diving and getting oysters. He'd work on those oysters, so he cracked them open and he'd slurp them right up. But we went out surfing, and the dolphins were out. The seagulls were surfing. The seagulls love to like ride the tube of the wave as well. So I'm out there body surfing with a dog, surfing with dolphins and seagulls all at the same time. It was land, sea, and air. It was fantastic. And the water was like 90 degrees. I don't think I'd ever been in ocean water that warm in my entire life, or just been in general that warm ever. Like, it's 90 degrees outside, get in the water. I'm not cooling off. It's just as hot as water as anything else. But yeah, that was really fun. What was it? Folly Beach, I think is what it was. Where were you? Bing. Fly across the world again. Bing. Okay. Charleston. Can't remember which side. There was a pier. Where were we? Sullivan's Island. So my family lived in Sullivan's Island before I was born. Isle Dunes. Oh, I think it's called Foley Beach, if I remember correctly. Folly Beach. Yeah. Oh, I was on the wrong side. Down here. Yeah, that's where we were. Yeah, there's a pier. There it is. So we surfed on this side right here. And dolphins and dogs and seagulls were all surfing with us. That made my entire trip. I went to Charleston to go visit her. This was her last year teaching at the nuclear power school. And I had not yet been to Charleston, so I flew out and hung out with her for 2 weeks before she had to move back. And it was just, I just remember being super hot. We did lots of touristy things. Food in Charleston was delicious, I'll admit that. But man, the coolest experience was surfing with the dolphins and her dog. Like getting up on a wave, and then there's just a Newfie mix like in the wave next to you. I'm like, this is fucking rad. It was so cool. I recommend it. Lawson Island, I predict you'll get 2 to 4 years house arrest. Possible. Take M12, Folly Beach. Thank you. Yes. All right. Am I caught up almost? I think I am. MS Snazzy Shirt Houston. This is another wonderful Mystery Michael Mystery shirt. I don't see him in the chat today. So, but this is authentic. This is an old school, thick knit, cotton badass shirt. I like this one. Julie's Miami, real question here. What the hell is going on with the Mariners? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks. Nice mug, by the way. Thank you. The Mariners need a new hitting coach is what they need. They need patience at the plate. They do not have any patience. Of the 6 highest, the leaders in strikeouts, it's 5 of them are Mariners. They just swing it too much because they're power hitters. Like they're like, oh, if I just get a hold of this thing, bam, I'll knock it out of the park. But they're being beaten by finesse, and they're counting too much on the pitcher making mistakes instead of forcing the pitcher to make mistakes. There's a big difference in that. So we can go back to paint here, and we can do, all right, turn off Chrome, turn off paint, turn on paint. Whoops, go off. There we go. Okay. Where's untitled paint? Oh, come on. Go. There we go. Okay. All right. So we can draw ourselves a little batter box again. Bing. Do. Actually, I'll move that down a little bit. Okay. So we got ourselves a batter box. And let's say most hitters are right-handed hitters. So we'll just draw ourselves a right-handed hitter again. So they're down here. Okay. Oh, where'd you go? What the hell? Okay. We'll try this again. Okay. Holding the bat and holding the bat, and then there's the bat. We should make that thicker. There we go. There's the bat. There's our guy holding the bat. All right, he's ready to hit. There's a little perspective of the home plate down here. There's the home plate. Okay. You guys can't really see the home plate. All right. We got our guy standing here. He's ready to hit some baseballs. We will make the catcher mitt. Catcher's mitt, whatever. It's doing the catcher's mitt thing. Okay. So what's happening is that the Mariners are swinging at everything. They're swinging absolutely everything, which means the pitchers are going to control the entire experience for the hitter. And when that happens, put brush here, go back to, I don't know, maybe red. Let's say, where'd it go? Okay. Let's say, what I was talking about last time I drew this, your goal as a pitcher is to screw up the timing of the hitter. Like, it's cool to make the ball move, and so they can't quite figure out where it's going, but timing is really a big part of messing with a hitter. And if you're falling for timing, and you're not predicting how the pitcher is going to throw to you, they're going to rule. So, like, when I was talking about throwing a ball up and in, right? Throw a ball up and in, and it backs the hitter off the plate, and you throw down and away, and all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh, it's not gonna hit me this time. I'm gonna swing for it, and they lunge and they stick their butt out and they reach for that thing, and they can't hit it. So all of a sudden, you can be even with the hitter 1-2, or 1-1, and you got one hit, one strike, and one ball. And this point, the hitter's like, oh, okay, well, they're messing me a little bit here. And then you throw something maybe that looks like it's going to right down the plate. But in this case, it's a changeup, maybe a curveball or a slider. And you think it's going to go right down the plate. It's going to be right in the sweet spot. But because it's thrown about 10 miles an hour slower than this fastball or this pitch here, they get out ahead of it and they swing, and then the ball arrives to the plate. So now you're up 2-1, and you are on. It's 1-2 count, and you now control the entire experience of the hitter at this point. They're putty in your hands, which means you can now go for an out pitch, which is your best pitch, the thing that just is nasty and gross, and they can't be sitting on a fastball because the fastball is designed to go right down the heart of the plate. Really, if you're really good, you can paint corners and kind of predict where it's going to go. But if you got to count the hitter's count, 3 balls to 1 strike, you're gonna have to. You don't want to walk them, so you have to throw something down the middle. But then at that point, they're like, "Oh, I've got you now." You have to throw a fastball, and I hit fastballs like crazy. But if you're an out pitch, you can throw something really nasty, and the hitter in their brain are like, "Oh, I'm already screwed." And for some reason, and I don't know why they don't work on the psychology of hitters with this enough, of looking for the out pitch, you know it's coming. You know this guy throws a mean splitter or something, and that's his out pitch. That when it is a 2-strike count, he's going to throw you the splitter. And in tapes, you should look at where does that splitter go. Oftentimes, they're going to throw it nowhere near the plate. They're going to throw it down here in the dirt. So if you just sat there with your bat in your shoulders, the ball would bounce in front of the plate, and you'd now be even, 2 strikes, 2 balls, which gives them another chance for another out pitch, but they're going to be a little more careful with this time. They're probably not going to give you the same splitter they're going to give you before because they didn't fool you last time. So they're going to go, okay, I'm going to go with something else. Maybe their second best pitch. But they're going to try to get it into the zone this time. And that might be much more of a hitter's type pitch. But a lot of, I think, messing with pitchers is never swinging at their out pitch. Like, when I got into a count where I was up 2 strikes on somebody, they knew a knuckleball was coming, right? The thing is be dancing all over the place. 80% of the time, the thing's be nowhere near a strike zone. They know a knuckleball's coming, but they'd still swing at it like weirdos because it's coming so slow. They're like, well, it's so slow, I'm going to hit it. And then it would just like fall out. And I would win. If they just sat there and been like, well, that's a stupid pitch, I'm not swinging at that, it would bounce off the plate and they would get a ball 2. And that'd be like, okay, well, they're not getting fooled by the knuckleball. So let's throw something else, maybe a tailing fastball. And they would rip it on me. But for some reason, a lot of the Mariners hitters swing at out pitches, and out pitches are never near the plate. Because why on earth would you give them a ball near the plate when you're already up 2 strikes? You just aren't. And that's my philosophy of why the Mariners are sucking ass right now. And not too terrible. It's just the Mariners hitters swing at everything and get dominated by the pitchers. We need Lee Elia back coaching again. I have no idea if that guy's still alive. He's probably 100 years old by now. But the 96, 97 Mariners with Lee Elia, just absolutely the greatest hitting team in the history of baseball. And he taught them, previously been Jesse Barfield teaching them bash ball. He's like, swing at everything, crush home runs. And there's a lot of guys that could do that in the Mariners. But Lee Elia kind of slowed down their approach to the plate and taught them like, hey, this is what this guy's going to throw you when he's up 2 strikes on you. Don't swing at it. Only swing when he's going to give you exactly the pitch you want. Otherwise, just sit there. And, yeah. So there. That's the problem with the Mariners. Bat bones. I have had waves where dolphins are literally surfing 8 to 10 foot swells with me in the same wave. It's magical. I've not had a big wave like that. The only time I've ever surfed big waves, like a couple times in Hawaii and when I was living in San Diego. Even then, once I got to like 8 to 10 feet was kind of my limit, and it was a little too terrifying for me. My brother was a big wave surfer, and he we can talk. If we bring Gardner on the show, probably all we want to do is talk surfing. But I body surf bigger than that, but not on a board. But man, those dolphins out there just have fun, man. They're like seagulls. They just want to have fun. That's all I want to do. Swamp spaghetti. Oh, Bat Bones, great shirt. Thank you. Kelly Russ, happy birthday. You had the time to look into bringing in Thunderfoot, Philip Mason. Oh my gosh, I keep running into this. No, Kelly, you haven't done that. Sorry. I just picked blackberries or cut blackberries. I did so much damage to blackberries yesterday after the show. Just absolutely just massacred them. It was beautiful. But today it's all rainy, so I'm not doing any blackberries today. Fabrizio, man, I got spread wide open on my $30 calls. Ooh. What did you $30 calls for Carvana? Is that what you were on? Yeah. Squamps being beaten by finesse. I wish I was a sports guy. Yes, MS Paint, the harbinger of excellence. Yeah, I wasn't going to buy any Carvana unless it finished really high today, and I was going to count on Gamma. Without Gamma, I wasn't going to do it because there was just too big of a chance that they were going to short it down today. And I just stepped back on that one. Marvel Studios. Hello, everybody. I'm a subscriber. We have the Marvel Studios. Well, here, fantastic. Welcome. Batbone, serious question. Is there any sport besides swimming that doesn't have sticks or balls? I mean, gymnastics, ice skating. I mean, rhythm gymnastics does have the little balls that they throw around, but like you can do entire gymnastics and never have balls in your life. Running, like track and field. Well, there's shot put in track and field. Whether ballless sports are there, monkey? Boxing, no balls in boxing, no sticks in boxing either. MMA, fighting in general, although unless you're doing like quarter staffs or something. Yeah, there are some. Aaron Salentin, can I just send a letter to my congressman and tell him to fix MMTLP? It's your job. Fix it, or give me $4,000 a share. Won't take anything less than my 1,678 shares of MMTLP, or anything less for my 1,678 shares of MMTLP. Works for me, man. Aaron Salentin, to see 1 million in IEP stock to make $400,000 a year doing nothing. Exactly. And travel the world, find a good woman, have a family. That is my MMTLP MOS dream. Archery, disc golf. Yes. Although archery technically aren't arrows, sticks. I might be in the hot dog as a sandwich territory, but I think it's a stick. Okay. If they are wood. Well, that's true. Like you do have like hollow metal ones and carbon fiber ones and stuff. Yeah. Monkey butt. You're a good dog. Yes, you are. You just lay there and you do your good dog thing and you stare off into space. And you're like, why aren't we outside murdering blackberries today? It's because... that's because it's snack time. Right at the end. Batbone's okay, that was good. I usually don't stump people with that question. Oh, is this what you're here for, little dog? Do you smell that, kitty? Does it smell like delicious meats? Do you actually want to try some this time? Shall we break off some for the kitty? You want to try it? It's meat, dude. Put it in your mouth. You can lick it. You can taste it. Yeah, it tastes like meat, doesn't it? Take it out of my hand, you little freak. There you go. The cat actually ate some. That's fantastic. Come here, dog. Come get it. Right there. It's right there for you. You can do it. Come on. You can do it. You can reach. There you go. Yeah. Nom 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 nom. Right there in the monkey cam. Rawr. Jaws. That's our tiger shark dog right there. Okay. Peace Tech. Thinking of moving to Prince Rupert, BC from Nova Scotia. Any advice? We'll make this the one last one. Whoops. Get rid of the baseball guy. There we are. I've never been to Prince Rupert myself, but it's way up there. That's really far north. I've not been in that part of BC yet. I've been basically in BC. I've been to Whistler and through a lot of this chunk up to Revelstoke over. I've never really been north of this in BC. Except on Vancouver Island. I've been to like Tofino. There's Bamfield somewhere in here. There's Bamfield. I've been there, but I've never been that far north up to where Prince Rupert is. I have no idea what life is like there. I assume storms. Oh, you're going to slap my screen, huh, you little dick? You slap my screen? Or are you chasing the mouse on the screen? That's what's happening. Yeah, I've never actually been there. I assume that they get lots of storms and it's very wet winters. I'm sure the summers are glorious. Yeah. It's There's a Houston, BC. I just noticed that. What? I'll have to go here. I didn't know there was a Houston, BC. Well, there. Houston's gonna have to drive to Houston and go Houston it up over here. Huh. Houston Leisure Facility. I wonder if I've got a membership. I'll go leisure it up in Houston. Things I learned right now. There's a Houston, BC. Okay. Should you do it? Well, I mean, it's up to you. So, I mean, you're going from one side of the country all the way to the other. I think the winters are probably just absolutely storm-ridden in that place. Like, just one low pressure after another hits that region again and again and again and again. But some summers are fantastic. I bet they're just absolutely glorious. No Revolution 105. Did you hear the Vegas 911 alien call? Thoughts? Are they here? Tell me. I just want to know, like, if you've got 4 or 5 people who are seeing a 10-foot alien in the backyard, why is no one whip out their cell phone and take a video? Take a video of everything else, but why no taking a video of a 10-foot tall alien in the backyard? Yeah, there was a meteor or something that fell from the sky. It was caught on camera, and then people called 911 saying there's like a 10-foot tall alien in their backyard. But I don't know, man. Get that video footage. Like, whip it out, film the sucker. So I want to see the 10-foot tall alien. All right, everybody. That's it for my Friday show. Monkey butt for myself, the cat, everybody else. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you on Monday. Hopefully with some stalking horse news on Monday. Until then, later, skaters. Oh, look at those nipples. Look at those kitty nipples. They're nippling away. Such great nipply cat.